What's up, everyone? Welcome back. Today, let's talk about the Mataiodoxia exotic chest piece for Warlocks and the speaker sight, the exotic helmet for Warlocks as well. If you are new to the channel, I really love Warlocks, so we're going to be talking about a lot of Warlocks in the coming days. So without any further ado, let's get into the juice, baby. Let's start off with the Mataiodoxia. I made a video about this exotic and I said that there's going to be more. It's not just suspension. There has to be more. And the more turned out to be gaining melee energy after you kill suspended enemies. I wonder if you have a team of suspenders, if you get melee energy back for killing the enemies that they suspended. I think that would be pretty cool. And that would add to the power to this exotic. You can also stun anti-barriers with your arcane needle, which I feel like is pretty dope, because now their melee ability will be able to stun two kinds of champions, anti-barrier and unstoppable champions. I don't know if this exotic would be meta for Warlocks and in-game like Grandmasters, but I'm pretty sure there's going to be a place for them. Like, people are not going to look at you and say, no, you can't play with me if you have the exotic on. With that being said, I do believe that this exotic for Warlocks is the stronger of the two. I still wanted it to give us more damage, or maybe give us woven mail or something, give us some kind of buff, because man, a lot of our melee abilities I feel like are weak and could use a damage buff. I know we have a void melee ability buff coming it soon, but I don't think that buff was enough, because man, it just feels so weak. And that's my biggest concern about the Mataiodoxia, it being built around one of the weakest abilities in the Strand kit. It falls flat a lot, man. I believe I was watching Datto's gameplay for the final shape, and he was firing off so many arcane needles, but they were missing a lot. It's just something weird about arcane needle, man. Like, it's dope, but you gotta remember that you're shooting a needle at someone. It doesn't do a lot of damage, so you're just gonna be running out of arcane needles, and you have to make sure, you have to assure you're getting a lot of melee energy. I do feel like it has a place in Destiny 2 in the Warlocks kit, but I don't think this is taking over anything, not meta changing at all. Now let's talk about the speaker sight, because this exotic left me really disappointed, because we already have the boots of Assembler. And with the boost of Assembler, it has so much going on, man. You pop your rift, if it's a healing rift, it has basically a healing turret that seeks out your allies to heal them. If you have an empowering rift, that empowering rift will basically become a turret and shoot out seekers that will give your teammates a damage buff. And it also increases the airborne effectiveness of your Lumina. They possibly could have just buffed it if they wanted to add a healing turret. Turn your rift into a healing turret, or turn your rift into an empowering turret. Like, we didn't really need speaker sight, man. I just thought that it's the speaker's helmet. Like, we were going to get something super crazy, man. Super powerful, because it's the speaker's sight. Like, I thought we was gonna get like some kind of invisibility or something, man. Lasers out of our eyes, something, bro, something crazy. And to see a healing turret when we have Lumina and the boost of the Assembler, and the well is still there, and Prismatic subclass comes with a healing nade, like, I don't know, man. This took me off guard, man. I don't know about everyone else, all the other Warlocks. It seems like some people are loving the exotic and loving how it will pair with the Lumina. I'm just like, man, this restoration ×2 and cure ×2. There's so many different ways to have that proc. I don't think you need an exotic to proc that. If Speaker Sight gave us restoration ×4, gave us some damage reduction, you know, and also cured us ×2, I think that would be pretty sick, and that would be a way to give our wells back to what they were before. I just did not really like what I saw with the speaker sight, especially after seeing the Mataiodoxia. I was like, man, where's our damage buffs to maybe our grenades, man? It's been a long time since we've gotten an exotic like the Verity's Brow, man. I don't know, man. This healing turret, I definitely think it needs a buff already. I saw some gameplay with Datto and the Seeker was just shooting too slow. Way too slow. I want that thing to spit out healing Seekers, like boom, 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 heal me, mother sucker. It having the functionality to create orbs and just be a turret to heal us, I don't think that's enough, man, especially for solo players, because it seems like the more players you have, the more effective the exotic is going to be, because the more people you heal, the more likely you're going to have an orb of power. It's not much to say about the speaker sight. I am not too excited for that exotic. I'm still going to get it, still going to play with it. Maybe it will surprise me. I do hope we have some powerful exotics down the pipeline for Warlocks. What I'm looking for is just something that has a buff in our damage, man. Like something crazy. Like I feel like Titans are getting exotic after exotics where your melee ability is getting buffed and is becoming more powerful. It would be cool to have an exotic that allows us to weaken fools with whatever grenade we socket. Like imagine being an arc lock and your grenades not only jolt enemies but also weaken them, and then a solar lock, kind of like what we have in the artifact where our solar abilities weaken enemies. I feel like if we have an exotic where we allow all of our grenades to weaken enemies, I feel like that would be a pretty dope exotic idea. If you think about it, man, Verity's Brow is the only exotic that buffs our grenade damage that we have, while Titans, they have the Syntheseps, they have this new strand exotic. That's already two exotics where they get their damage buffs to their melee. So man, hopefully I make sense and hopefully Bungie hears this. Please give Warlock some way to do a lot of damage, man. We want damage. So yeah, man, I don't want to take up too much of your time. I really want to hear your thoughts on the Titan exotics if you're a Titan main, the Hunter exotics if you're a Hunter main. If you're a Warlock main, do you agree with me that Speaker's sight was really underwhelming and Mataiodoxia isn't too bad? You know, it's pretty good in my eyes. You know what? Gotta get back to my son. So let's stop it right here. I hope you all enjoyed today's video and I'll see you in the next one, baby. Peace and one love.